So today we are talking about ChatGPT for data analysts. We look at some use cases and how, and I'm going to try to use it to analyze a small data set, and we see how we can make use of it. I am not someone I'm a late adopter of technology. I don't join on time. Before I got BlackBerry, it is when people are tired of BlackBerry. And I think I can tell you I've never bought an Apple iPhone. I've used one, maybe when I have it as a work phone, but outside of that, no. But for ChatGPT, the height is actually real because please, if you can mute yourself, that would be great. Thank you. So today we are actually, so without much of an ado, I'll just go straight to ChatGPT. In case do we have anyone that has not heard about ChatGPT? I guess many people have already heard about it and possibly tried it, but I'll just show you. For ChatGPT, you can have an account. If you want to have an account, the website is chat.openai.com. I'll just put this in the chat because as much as possible, I would like if you try some of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you, because the best way to actually pick these things is to try it. So I have the website in the comment section. As you can see, chat.ai.com. So if you have you register, you have an account. And once you have your account, it's free. There's a paid version, but all I want to show you today, you can do it with the free version. I've never tried the upgrade and I don't know how it looks like. But one thing I know about trying to get stuff from ChatGPT is sometimes it can be slow. Sometimes I can make some prompt and it takes some time because of the network. I think the advantage is that if you have the paid version, it will be fast. But apart from that, I don't think there should be much of a difference. But if anyone has make use of the paid version, you can let us know in the chat and we can look at it. So now we start. We just want to look at how this can help a data analyst or a data scientist. Yeah, let's keep it as a data analyst. There is all this noise from people that technology is going to take the place of human. I want to let you know, technology cannot take the place of humans. So there is no way technology can take the place of humans. We will continue to use the humans that knows how to use that technology are the ones that can replace you. So all these tools, they are only there to help. It's just when you know how to use them, that's when it is really useful. I'm going to start by talking about how we can use ChatGPT to generate ideas. For example, as you are working, okay, but let me just quickly, before I go into that, we just make a prompt to, in case we want to understand let me say, let's ask ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? So, and it looks like what is actually giving us is true. Is a language model trained by OpenAI based on GPT, generative pre-trained transform architecture, designed to understand and respond to natural language inputs, align human-like conversations with user. So it's trained on massive amount of data and it can generate wide range of response. One thing about it, one of the major limitation of it is that event that happened after the time the model was made, it might not be able to pick it. I don't know if that's September 2022 or September 2021, either of the two. Stuff that happened after that, it will fail in that respect. So, but after that, let's just say, most projects start with you thinking about ideas. And so I'm going to talk about how you can use ChatGPT to generate ideas, to think about stuff that you need to do. And after generating ideas, you can use it for your coding. You can use it to have ideas on your coding. You can use it for analysis. you can use it for every aspect of machine learning and the likes. So, but now let's look at how we can use it to generate ideas. Please, if you have questions, feel free to use the chats. Okay, I can see some comments regarding the audio. Is the audio now okay? Okay, yeah, I will assume the audio is fine. It's fine, yep.
Yeah, it's coming through fine to me.
Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. So we first look at how you can use it to generate ideas. So let's imagine that you are a data scientist and you want to build a predictive model for image classifier. You can ask a question like this. I'll just copy and paste. I said, there is a way I like to ask the question to, you can say, assume you are a data scientist with, let's give a 10 years experience. Who wants to build a predictive model for image classifier? Suggests 5 most relevant data sets for use case. So if you look at the way I've asked this question, I said it should assume ChatGPT is taking the position of a data scientist that has 10 years experience. Because, you know, the way somebody with 10 years experience will answer question might be different from somebody that is just starting up. So, and the model is able to assume such positions. So you should, as much as possible, make use of it. And it is, and with this, it makes those recommendations. And, you know, that can be a place to start. And even as you are learning data science or maybe data analytics, you can also ask that maybe you want to learn, okay, let me ask this question. You can say, I want to learn about deep learning. Can you recommend 3 best resources? And these are actually a very nice textbook. I'm just okay, yeah. For some of you that you've been attending this meetup, there was a time Finley was teaching us fast AI. And I think at some point, he might still do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping to restart that. The course has definitely moved on a lot since the last time we ran it. So the tools and the features that he explores includes things like transformers now, so and large language model. So it's going to be very interesting. So watch this space.
Yeah, thank you. That's good. I'm excited about that. Yeah. So, and another thing, apart from ideas, you can also use it in your code. For example, let me say there is one aspect that I know many data analysts or data scientists are very poor at. Okay. That's when it comes to unit testing. Okay. So let me just put this here. Let's assume you want to write a unit function for a unit test for train function, and test cases are X should not be null value. You know, it will actually come up with a code for you. And this is actually one thing sometimes, you know, this is quite basic. You might need to adjust it to your own to your use case and to the complexity of your work. But then this is a very good starting point for you, because this is a basic unit test. And you can, one thing is it can continue conversation. You can say, instead of, it has used unit test, you can say instead of unit test, you want it to use PyTest. And you can just continue the conversation. Can you use PyTest? You know, this is quite cool, you know. Well, and this is what I'm talking about. It's now slow because it's not a paid version. But if this happens, stop generating and then just copy it and paste again. That's next. What there you go. So that is PyTest. So you see, it's just about the network, because you know many people are also maybe making use of this at the same time. So if you are trying to do something and it doesn't go, you just wait and you try again. And obviously people are using the paid version, but I think everything we are going to do today, you can do with the free version. And that is that. There is another one I'm thinking we should actually start using. I want to use a real data set, but let me do something before then. Let's assume, I want to see how you, this one is something that blew my mind and I want to try it now. Okay, what I want to do now is I want ChatGPT to generate a fake data for us that we can use for analysis. So I'm saying generate a fake data with 100 rows and 4 columns. The first column is ID, name, grade, and subject. And I don't want, let me just reduce this to 50, not 100. So, and this is, Faker is becoming popular because currently, you know, there is now an improvement in, these days we now hear about synthetic data sets. So, but actually, this is not what I actually wanted to do. I wanted to generate real data. So maybe because I say generate, I can change the language quite a little bit. Like maybe provide.
Ask you to print the data. If you print the
Okay.
data, you should.
Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Print. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Print the print a data with columns, this with 4 columns and let's say 50 rows.
Okay, if you try data set.
Okay.
I use data set and it worked for me.
Okay, cool. Can you put that in the chat?
Okay, all right. Let me
Also, if you have asked for, after you generate the first one, when you say generate, if you have said more print data, I think it will.
Okay, I did that. I've posted it in the chat.
That's cool. Yeah, so if you, yeah, that's, please provide or print a data set with 50 rows. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we are going to be using this data set to do some stuff. So,
well, it creates.
you know, it gives different answers at different times. So sometimes if it gives you a particular response and that's not what you want, you can.
Yeah, I've found it, sometimes it feels like it's antagonistically fighting against you to misinterpret what you've said.
Yeah. So, but okay, but I'll use something else to show the example I want to show. What I want to show you is how you can actually use ChatGPT. You know, this sometimes you use Python and you want to do a particular code. You have the Python version, you want to do it in R or something. So that is where I'm actually going. So I'm going to try using another code to do that example. So I have a text classification data set. Write a Python instead of text. Okay, I have a data set. Write a Python code for, let me say I have a regression data set because I want to use R with time. So I want something easy. I have a regression data set. Write a Python code for data cleaning. And it's going to write the code.
Emmanuel, my query
Yes.
worked. Can you please check in the chat?
Okay, I think you need a new chat page. Okay. I can change to a new chat page. Okay, cool. But before I change to a new chat page, as you said, let me, this thing that it has provided this for us in Python. You can ask that, can you provide this script in R? And it will, because with this, it makes it easy when you have a code in Python, and because there are so many times I see people, they have maybe their code in R, they struggle to change to Python, you know, and vice versa. So I think this makes it, makes life easier in some ways. I want to, actually, I want to do something. I want to start, I want to analyze a small data set for us so that we can actually see how we can actually make use of it. I thought I'll start at 6, but I'm conscious of the time. I don't want us to run away with the time.
Emmanuel, I sent something to the chat. You can try that out to generate the fictitious data set.
Yeah, I think that one worked very well.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to look at the charts. Okay, provide fictitious data sets. Let's go for it. Let's see. Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you. Konye, that's good. Yeah, this is actually what I'm trying to do. And you know, you can just copy this code and you maybe save it in your text file, and that's you. So now I want to do a small EDA with ChatGPT. That's what we are going to do next. It's just a small data set. We just try to see what we can do with it. I've used, in some of my practice with ChatGPT, I've used it for feature engineering, and it will come up with new features for you. I've used, so, but let me just start this one. This data set, I'm going to be selecting a section of the Titanic data sets. I'll just be using some few columns. So there's a prompt I'm going to copy and paste. So can you see my screen? Is it big enough for you to see?
Yep.
So I want you to act as a data scientist and analyze the data sets, provide me with the exact and definitive answer for each question. Do not provide me with the code snippet for the question. Data set is provided, you know. One thing is, when it comes to this, in this one, you see how you can make a conversation with ChatGPT. Because sometimes, I think I should start it with the recommendation. Somebody recommended I have a new chat page. Okay. If that will help us with network. So sometimes you need to get ChatGPT in that mode of conversation because it is a conversational model. And that is with you, because if you notice the initial ones I've been doing, I've been giving like do this and do that. But sometimes if you're able to make it like a conversation, then you get more from the model because the model has the ability to remember things from the past. Sorry, someone has been, let me allow this person in. So let's start now and see what the response will be. You can see it's because we've not given the data sets. We are actually prompting it to to get in that mode of conversation. So I will now copy. I'm just copying the first few rows and column. I'll just limit it to 6. So there is a passenger ID survived, different. I'm sure many of us are so familiar with the Titanic data sets. That's one of the most popular data sets. Oh no. Why is ChatGPT not answering me? I think I've tried it and okay. Regenerate response. As I said, sometimes it will give you the wrong because it's been trained on so many different data sets. So if you look at it, I see here is a list of questions to be answered based on provided data sets. So after just looking at this within a few minutes, it's coming up with how many rows, how many columns, giving you different things that you can do. If you like, you can actually just copy and ask. "12 columns. What percentage?" You can just start making that. But let me look at. I want to ask this question. Okay, I've asked how many rows and column. His answer is there are 12 columns and the number of rows is not provided in the data set. Right, well, I will say it should generate again. There are 12 columns and 7 rows. So sometimes you might need to, because it's a model, it's making prediction, it can be wrong, but then you can always say, no, this is not what I want. Like you can see the first time it gives the number of row columns correctly, but not the rows. But after another tweak, it is getting it right. So the next thing we can do is we can ask it to do the next thing. When you have a data set like this, you might want to know which one is a numerical column or which one is a categorical column. And the way we can do that is if we ask it to show, it's actually listing numerical and categorical column. And this is fantastic. It's something, it always amazes me what it can do. And after we've looked at, we are just looking at the steps that you would take normally if you are analyzing a data set. Now, one thing that is important in your data is you want to check if there are null columns. So you can actually check that. So let's see how we can check it. So you'll see if there are nulls present. And it's providing you Python code to actually do that. And if you like, you can say, maybe can you provide this in R? And that's the equivalent in R. In the data set, it's necessary for you to look out for outliers. I know for this particular data set, I've just selected very few rows, just the it looks like I've not logged into my Zoom properly. It's showing that the meeting is ending in 10 minutes, which is not correct. So, but I will just try to finish everything in 10 minutes. Apologies for that. So you can check if there are outliers in your data sets. And the way you are going to check that is by pasting. You can literally paste it. If you have the answer here, you can ask for a code to do it, and it can show you, okay, it's even coming up with a code. But as you can see, this is mind-blowing what you can achieve with this tool. And you can also, even though it's giving you the code, you can ask it itself to say, based on, you can say, name the column that contains, as in checking out which columns actually contain these outliers. And name the column that contain the outliers, provide the exact answer. You see, it's actually providing you, okay, that these columns have outliers and stuff like that. So, it makes, this tool makes work easy, but to be honest, this is not going to replace a developer. It's not going to replace any data analyst or data scientist. It will only make your work easier in some ways. So the best thing we can do is to maximize the potential of this application. I don't know why this is showing that I have 10 minutes. So it's probably, maybe I've not logged in properly when I started this call. And you can go to another question about the data sets. Like, this is a Titanic data set. We are always interested in survival rates. So I'll just ask for, what are the significant factors that affect survival rates? I can say, what is the survival rates, and what are the significant? And it's giving you how to calculate it. So for some of you, one thing about this is it actually makes work easy. And if you are learning to code, if you are learning to program, it can help you sometimes when you are troubleshooting your code. It's not always correct, it's not always right, but humans are not right all the time. So, and I think this is, the model is, based on my own analogy, I can say it's up to 90% right most of the time. And you can also try determining this is statistics, the column that follow the skill distribution. So let's try to see what it's going to come with. Determine the columns that follow the skill distribution and aim them. Let's see what's going to bring. So it's recommending this library for you. So, do you have the skill? Yeah, do you know something? Because the model discovered that I'm asking it to repeat in R, so it automatically keeps generating R scripts for me after generating the Python script. And I can actually say, I can say it should stop doing that, but I won't say for now. Based on everything that we've done, you could actually ask it to generate meaningful insights for you on the data sets. So let's ask it to generate meaningful insight from the data set and see what it's going to come up with. So it's going to, based on the data set contains. And if you look at most of the insight that is from data set, it's actually real. For those of you that you've actually walked through the data set. So this ChatGPT is very, very Okay, I can see there are comments in the chat. Let me just quickly look at it. Okay, I think they are legacy comments. One second, I'm just trying to see if I can. I want to see why this is saying what is it saying about my account. That's all right. I think. So, and is there anyone that has any question?
Have you tried it with data sets that have been generated after they like truly new novel data sets? Obviously, the model will have been able to have gleaned quite a lot of insight on Titanic data set because it's a fairly canonical example. But if you say asking it to do something that wouldn't have been in its training data set.
Yeah, you can actually, like, let me give you an example. This one, well, the other one that we were, this model, for example, if you generate the data like this, you can use it with this type of data sets and it will work well for you. I've tried it with a data set like this. Okay, I said it should generate this. Okay, I can say, write a Python code to list the first 5 rows. And once you get it in that mode, it will continue. So once it is in that mode, it will continue doing what it's meant to do. Like you can continue the analysis like group by subject. No, I think we can say group by grade. So it works well. Once it gets the data set, it will continue doing. Insights on the data sets. It's grouping by grade. And say stop generating. And then say, give me insights on the data sets. Regenerates. Okay, it struggles with this one. Okay, it's now having an assumption, top performance. This is better than the first one. So, stuff like that. Do we have more comments, question? Alex? Yep. So if there are no